Certain techniques may be helpful when communicating with young people. Show them that you've heard and understood what they've said to you. Communicate interest, concern and respect for the person speaking, even if they may not necessarily be showing this to you. Encourage expression and acceptance of their views. Don't be afraid to ask questions. People generally like to speak about themselves. Don't inquire too personally straight away. Get to know them slowly. Active listening and paraphrasing are important skills to master. Attending. This is about communicating your interest and attentiveness by maintaining appropriate eye contact, nodding and using verbal cues. Observing and reading non-verbal behaviour. What is not said is sometimes more important than what is, so consider their body language. Non-verbal communication can give you an insight into how they're really feeling. Resist distractions. This will help create a climate of respect, focus and concentration. Be sure you both silence your mobile phones and keep the radio off. Paraphrasing. This technique involves reflecting content and responding to feelings. Summarise what you've heard and understood in your own words. This technique respectfully informs the client that they're being listened to. This allows you to check that you've understood correctly and lets the client know that you have heard them. Suspend your own feelings and judgments. Put your feelings and responses on hold and just listen. Your role as a mentor is not to criticise, debate or impose your own values and judgments. You should provide a climate of safety which enables the client to express themselves freely. Listen to the context. What are the underlying feelings and emotions? Sometimes your client will behave in ways you don't understand. If you're listening, you can determine background issues which may be affecting the way they feel or react to a particular situation. Keeping quiet. This is most important. To listen, we need to provide space. Language. Mentors should be careful about using words like stop or right. They could be taken as literal directions whilst on the road. Give directions for movements, slowing or turning well ahead of time. Language matters. You need to be mindful that some words you use may have little meaning to the client. Ask them to tell you if you're using words they do not fully understand. Clients where English is a second language. When you perceive a potential language barrier, slow things down and ask the client to confirm they understand by repeating instructions back to you in their own words. Simply asking, "Do you understand?" may not always be an effective test of their grasp of a complex instruction. Instructions. Consider using the at, when, do method. For example, at the next street, when there's a safe gap, turn right. Concise instructions have little chance of being misinterpreted. Feedback. If you wait too long, memories of what happened may fade. Do, however, ensure you are both calm to make feedback effective. To notice errors, you will need to pay attention and be able to work out which part or parts of the action are incorrect. For example, saying, "You didn't change lanes properly back there," is unhelpful. It describes an action that has many parts and focuses on what didn't happen rather than what did happen. In this case, perhaps the client began to steer first before looking over their shoulder. Discuss this particular aspect with them. When offering feedback, aim to stay in the feel-good zone. Praise the areas that are good enough and provide encouragement for the areas that need to improve. Don't praise poor actions, as this will send the wrong message, but you can praise effort. When the client gains confidence, ease back on the praise so they don't become overconfident. This is a good time to raise the bar. All feedback should be positive. Give praise for tasks well done. Immediate. Ask the client to park first, then give feedback on what's occurred, but try not to interrupt their focus. Relevant. Keep your feedback specific. Too much can confuse the client. Be specific. Avoid general "drive safely," "drive smoothly" or "don't speed" comments. Focus on particular actions like, "We should have slowed down for that last bend because we had limited vision." Keep it to key points.